Gentlemen, welcome to the St. Martin's Episcopal School Radio Hour. Today we'll bring you a tale of adventure on the high seas, a beloved tale of pirates, secret maps, buried treasure, and revenge. Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson.
Squire Trelawney and Dr. Livesey having asked me to write down the whole story about Treasure Island, from the beginning to the end, keeping nothing back, I take up my pen in the year of grace 1783 and go back to that time 19 years ago when my mother kept the Admiral Benbow Inn, and the brown old seaman with the saber cut on his cheek took up his lodging under our roof. I was 14, but I remember him as if it were yesterday.
15 men on a dead man's chest, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum. Drinking the devil have done for the rest, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum.
Jim, there's a man coming up the road. Go out and see.
Yes, Mother.
He came plodding to the inn door, his sea chest pushed behind him on a handbell. He looked a sight, a tall, strong, heavy, nut-brown man, his pigtail falling over the shoulders of his soiled blue coat, his hands ragged and scarred, and the saber cut across one cheek, a dirty, livid white, singing that old sea song.
Yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum. Yo, open up in there. Now then, boy.
Yes, sir.
What do you call this place?
The Admiral Benbow Inn, sir.
Admiral Benbow, eh? That nice, lonely-looking, pleasant city-daddy grog shop. Folks don't come here much, do they, boy?
No, sir. Not many customers to a dollar ass.
No, well then it's the berth for me. I have a mind to stay here a bit. Here, you made it. You at the wheelbarrow. Help up my chest. You too, boy. It's heavy.
Yes, sir.
Call me Captain, boy. Captain.
Yes. Who's Captain?
Just one thing more.
Yes, Captain.
You ain't seen him, have you?
Seen who, Captain?
A seafaring man. You might have seen here somewhere, as you can't tell. Let me know if you do, boy.
Yes, sir.
With one leg.
Yes, sir.
Captain!
Yes, Captain.
Bring me a noggin of rum, boy.
We never knew his name. We called him the Captain. All day he wandered on the cliffs with a brass telescope, staring out to sea. All evening he sat in a corner next to the fire and drank rum. And every day when he came back from his stroll, he would ask the same question.
Any seafaring man go by today along the road?
No, Captain.
You wouldn't lie to me, would you, Jim?
No, sir.
Jim, there's a silver coin for you on the first of every month if you keep your eye open for a seafaring man with one leg. Call me the moment you see him.
A seafaring man with one leg. How it haunted my dreams! On stormy nights when the wind shook the house and the surf roared, I could see him, the leg cut off at the knee, an evil eye.
You'll keep your eye open, won't you, Jim?
The captain stayed on week after week, month after month.
And never a penny of money, Jim. Not a penny has he paid us since the day he came here, and me a poor widow.
Mother, why don't you ask him for some?
Well, I'll tell you the truth, Jim. I'm afraid to ask him.
In all that time, none of us ever saw him open the great sea chest of his. There were nights when he took a deal more rum than he should.
15 men on a dead man's chest.
He would force anyone who came to the inn to listen to his stories. Dreadful stories they were, about walking the plank and storms at sea, and wild deeds in places on the Spanish Main. He must have lived his life among some of the wickedest men that God ever allowed upon the sea. The captain had been living with us almost a year when there occurred the first of many mysterious events. It was one January morning, very early. The captain had sat down the bench to the beach with his telescope under his arm. My mother was upstairs, and I was laying the breakfast table when the parlor door opened, and a stranger stepped in.
Hey there, Sonny. Is this table for my mate, Bill?
I'm waiting for this man who stays in the house. You call him the Captain.
Whoa, My mate Bill, he be called the captain like as not. Now, I'll be guessing your captain's got a cut on one cheek, eh?
Huh?
But of course, save me, there he is now. There's my mate Bill. Bless his old heart. You and me, Sonny, we'll give Bill a little surprise, we will. 15 men on a dead man's chest. Yo. Hello, Bill. You knows me. You knows an old shipmate, Bill. Surely. Black Dog, so you've run me down. Well, speak up. What is it? That's you, Bill. Always right into it, Billy. We'll have a glass over him and we'll sit down if you please and talk like old shipmates. Sit down, Bill. And you, Sonny, get some drink for us.
Yes, sir.
And none of y'all listening on me, do you hear?
For a while, I could hear nothing but a low gabbing. Suddenly,
No, and then into it. If it comes to swinging, swing on. Say aye. Take that, you black dog. I'll school your gizzard. You'll be feeding the fishies. Ah.
I saw Black Dog, streaming blood, run off down the road. Presently, the captain returned, alone.
Jim,
Here, Captain.
give me some rum.
Captain, are you hurt?
Aye, I must get away from here. Get away, that's what.
What happened, Jim?
It's the captain, Mother. He's wounded.
The captain? Oh, dearie me. I've been afraid of something like this ever since he came into the house with that old chest of his.
I got the rum and tried to put it down his throat, but his teeth were tightly shut and his jaws were as strong as iron. An hour later, our friend Dr. Livesey came in.
Where is he wounded, Doctor?
Wounded, a fiddlestick's end. No more wounded than you or I. The man's had a stroke.
Where's Black Dog?
Black Dog? There is no Black Dog. You've been drinking rum, man, and you've had a stroke. Now listen to me. Rum will kill you. If you take even one glass, you'll die, and the world will be rid of a dirty scoundrel.
About noon the next day, I stopped at the captain's door.
Who is it, Jim? Who is it?
It's me, Jim.
Come in, Jim, come in.
He was lying very much as we had left him.
Jim, you know I've always been good to you. Now you see, mate, I'm pretty low and deserted by all, Jim. You'll bring me a nugget of rum, won't you, matey?
But the doctor.
Doctors, if I don't have a drum of rum, I'll have the horrors. Seen him already. Seen an old friend, dead and buried he is, but I seen him. I'll give you a golden guinea for a noggin of rum.
When I brought it to him, he seized it greedily and took it out and drank it out.
Hey, that's better. Now, matey, did the doctor say how long I was to lie here?
A week alas.
A week? Thunder, a week? I can't do that. They'd have a black spot on me by then. It's a thing they after. It's in me old sea chest. I was old Flint's first mate, and I'm the only one who knows the place he buried it. Give it to me at Savannah when he lay dying.
What's the black spot, Captain?
A summons from old Flint's crew, and them gets it is lucky when they're dead.
A week went by, and then, about 3 o'clock of a bitter, foggy, frosty afternoon, I saw someone coming along the road. He was plainly blind, for he tapped before him with a stick. He was hunched, as if with age or weakness, and wore a huge old tattered sea cloak with a hood.
Kind Christian friends, take pity on a poor blind man who's lost the precious sight of his eyes. Tell me, where may I now be?
You're at the Admiral Benbow Inn.
Will you give me your hand, my kind young friend, and lead me in?
I held out my hand, and in a moment the horrible eyeless creature gripped it like a vise.
Now, boy, take me into the captain.
Sir, upon my word, I dare not.
You heard me. Take me in straight.
Yes, sir.
Good. And when I'm in view, say to him, here's a little friend for you, little bones. If you don't, I'll twist your arm right out of your body. Do you hear?
Yes, sir. I.
Slash your chatter, damn you! Now, forward march.
Here's a friend for you, Bill Bones.
Now, Bill, sit where you are. Business is business. Hold out your left hand. Bill, boy, take his left hand by the wrist and bring it near to my right. Here's a little bit of paper for you, Billy Bones. Now that's done, I'll be going. Goodbye, Bill.
What time is it, Jim?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, 6 hours. Pew and Black Dog and Long John Silver. The whole crew of them will fight.
Captain? Captain? Captain! Mother, the captain's dead. What? Dead? What? In our house? He owes us money. He does. And me a poor widow. But mother, if the black dog comes back, or the blind man looking for their share of the money, they won't be likely to pay his debts.
Oh, black dog, fiddlesticks. There's something in that old chest of his upstairs that's rightfully mine, and we'll have that chest open if we die for it.
Look, mother, look!
On the floor, close to the dead man's hand, there was a little round of paper, blackened on one side.
The black spot.
I took it up and read.
You have until 10 o'clock. That's 4 hours.
Now, Jim, that chest is locked up tight. We must find that key. Perhaps it's around his neck. Tear open his shirt.
There, sure enough, hanging on a bit of string, we found the key. Then my mother got a candle, and holding each other's hands, we went upstairs to his room.
Give me the key, Jim. Now then. Nothing in here, not a thing of value, not a penny.
Mother, look!
There, at the very bottom, lay a bundle, tied up in oilcloth, looking like papers, and a canvas bag that gave forth at a touch the jingle of gold.
Do you see, young Jim? I knew we'd find it. But I'll show these rouges that I'm an honest woman. I'll have me do, and not a farthing over. Here, Jim, hold this bag.
The coins were of all countries and sizes, doubloons and guineas, and pieces of 8. As my mother sorted through the coins, I picked up the oilcloth packet. I quickly hid it away in my pocket.
Mother!
What is it, Jim?
Mother, listen. Come, mother, mother, take the hold, let's be gone.
No, I'll have me do, Jim, and no more.
But mother, you heard him. That was the blind man.
I know my rights.
But mother, you don't see.
Oh dear, I'll take what I have.
Next moment, we were in full retreat towards the village, the scoundrels shouting behind us.
Faster, mother!
Oh, Jim.
Mother, hurry!
I'm going to faint. Oh, Jim, take the money and go on.
Mother! Mother!
She had fainted. I managed somehow to drag her down the bank into the shadow of the ditch. A moment later, the house was surrounded.
Bones, Billy Bones. Billy Bones, will you answer me? Down with the door then. In, you lubbers. Loot the house and find it.
Bill's dead.
Hey, few Bill's dead. Search him, you shrinking lubbers, and the rest of you, aloft and get the chest.
Our poor house was pulled apart and smashed. Whatever it was they were after, they did not find it.
Well, is it there?
Nothing.
Jim?
Mother, are you alright?
What is it, Jim? What are they after?
The map, Mother. Flint's map.
Scatter me, lads!
Hold on, you sneaks. It's in the house. You know it is. The signal, Few, the signal. You dogs, you're giving up now. You'd be as rich as a king if you could find it.
Get out! Out! Make yourself scarce, boys!
Dirk? Dirk? Black Pew? Johnny? Dirk? You won't leave old Pew, mates. Not Dirk. Pew? Johnny? Black Dog? Don't leave Pew.
Pew was stone dead, crushed by horses. The horsemen, as it turned out, were soldiers in pursuit of the pirate band. They took my mother to a neighbor's house. An officer and I went to tell the Squire Trelawney about these awful events. We rode hard all the way till we came to the Squire Trelawney's door.
The Squire stepping tonight with Dr. Lively.
The officer and I were led into the dining room. A squire rose to meet us, very stately and condescending.
Come in, gentlemen.
Good evening, Squire Trelawney. Good evening, Dr. Lively.
Good evening to you, friend Jim. Good evening, officer. What brings you here?
Then the officer stood up straight and stiff and told his story. When he finished, all the men in the room eyed me critically.
Well, Hawkins, they attacked the house, you say. Well, what were they after? Bill's money, I suppose.
No, Your Honor, I believe it's the thing I have in my pocket. And to tell you the truth, I should like to put it in safety.
I say, man, you are telling us. Jim, you have the thing that they were after.
Here it is, sir.
You've heard of this Captain Flint, I suppose, Squire Trelawney.
Heard of him? He was the bloodthirstiest buccaneer that sailed. Blackbeard was nothing compared to Flint.
Well, we have here some clue to where Flint buried his treasure. Will that treasure amount to much?
Amount, sir? It will amount to this. I'll fit out a ship in Bristol Dock and take you and Hawkins here along, and I'll have that treasure if I search a year, sir.
Very well now. If young Jim is agreeable, we'll open the pocket. A map of an island, tall tree, spyglass shoulder, bearing a point to the north of northeast, Skeleton Island. The bar silver is in the north quadrant.
Tomorrow I start for Bristol. In 3 weeks' time we'll have a ship, sir, and a choice crew. Hawkins shall come as a cabin boy. You, Dr. Livesey, as ship's doctor. I'm Admiral.
I'll go with you, Squire Trelawney. So will young Jim, and he'll be credit to the undertaking. There is no one man I'm afraid of.
Who's that? Name the dog, sir.
You, sir, for you cannot hold your tongue.
It was longer than the 1 week that It was longer than the Squire Trelawney imagined ere we were ready for sea. Weeks passed on. Then, one fine day, there came a letter from the Squire, from Bristol.
Dear Dr. Livesey, our ship finally lies at anchor, ready for sea. It was the crew that delayed me. Then I had the most remarkable stroke of fortune. I was standing on the dock when by the merest accident I fell in talk with an old salt. He had hobbled down there that morning with a parrot on his shoulder. I engaged him on the spot to be ship's cook. Long John Silver he is called, and has lost a leg. I thought I only found a cook, but it was a crew I discovered. Between Long John Silver and myself, we got together in a few days a company of the toughest old salts imaginable.
On the 16th of April, 1764, the schooner Hispaniola set sail from Bristol Harbor. I can remember it as if it were yesterday. Me in my new Captain Boy's clothes, leaning over the rail, waving goodbye to my mother, doing my best not to cry, for it was the first time I had been away from home. Then, a little before noon, Captain Smollett gave an order. The boatswain sounded his pipe.
And the schooner left the dock.
Soon the sail began to draw, and the land to slip away. The Hispaniola had begun her voyage to Treasure Island. On the second day out, I made an acquaintance of Long John Silver.
Ah! Hey there, boy. Come in. Come on into Long John's galley. Ah!
To tell you the truth, at the very first mention of Long John Silver in the squire's letter, I had taken a fear in my mind that this might be the very one-legged sailor dreaded by Bill Bones. But one look at him was enough. I'd seen Black Dog and Blind Pew, and I knew what a buccaneer looked like. Very different from his pleasant-looking sea cook. His left leg was cut off close to the hip, and under the left shoulder he carried a crutch.
Ah! Pieces of eight. Pieces of eight.
Oh, you Mr. Silver?
Yes, me lad. Such is me name to be sure. And you're Hawkins, eh? Your first trip to sea, matey?
Yes, sir.
Well, well. There's a lot of things you're gonna learn before this here voyage is over. And if there's anything you want to know, Hawkins, just come on into Long John Silver and I'm a sea. Ah! Pieces of eight. Pieces of eight. Here's old Captain Flint. I call my parrot Captain Flint. Ah! Yeah, Captain Flint, after the famous buccaneer. Pieces of eight. Aye. She's a powerful old bird, is Captain Flint. 200 years old if she's a day. Pieces of eight. Pieces of eight. Pieces of eight.
At the end of the third week, we left Madria behind us. The ship proved to be a good ship, the seamen capable. There was only one man aboard who was not satisfied, and that was Captain Smollett.
I'll speak plain. I don't like it. I don't like this cruise. I don't like the men. I don't like me officers. That's short and sweet.
But nobody paid much attention to him. Every man on board seemed well content. Double grog was served on the least excuse, and always a barrel of apples standing waist high for anyone to help himself that had a fancy.
Never knew good would come out of it. Handing out apples. Pah! Spoil the crew, you make devils.
But good did come of that apple barrel. It was the last day of our outward voyage. We were coming close to the site of Treasure Island, just after sundown. When all my work was over, I thought I should like an apple. I ran out on deck. The watch was all forward, looking out for the island. The stock was so low that I had to climb into the apple barrel to get one. Suddenly, I heard voices on deck.
Ah! Ah!
Look here, mates. How long are we going to stand off into like the blessed choir, boys?
How long? By the powers. The last moment I can manage. That's how long. How many brisk lads have we seen a drying in the sun at Execution Dock? And all for the same earth. He's a first-rate seaman, Captain Smollett. Sails the blessed ship for us.
We're all seamen aboard here, I should think.
Yeah, I guess so.
All focus the lands, you mean? I know the sort you are. You're never happy until you're drunk. I don't know where the treasure is, do I? No more do you, says you, and here's this squire and doctor with a map and such. Well, this squire and doctor shall find the treasure for us, and help us get it aboard by the powers. And after that, what do you mean?
What do we do with him, John Long John Silver?
After that,
Yeah, what are you doing? Yeah.
well, what would you think we does with 'em? Put 'em ashore like maroons, or cut 'em down like that much pork? Duty is duty, mates. Wait is what I say. When the time comes, why let her rip.
Yeah, let her rip, let her rip, let her rip.
Away to the southwest of us, Treasure Island. 10 minutes later, we were gathered in the cabin. The squire, doctor, the captain, and myself.
Now, Hawkins, you have something to say. Speak up.
I did as I was bid. I told them the whole story of Long John Silver's conversation. Then the squire rose.
Captain Smollett, you were right and I was wrong. I await your orders, sir.
This Long John Silver is a remarkable man.
He is the way I see it. We must go on. Now, what I propose is that we don't wait for them to surprise us, but that we come to blows at our own time, and when they least expect it, there must be some faithful hands left. Well, we must find out who they are.
Young Jim here can help us more than anyone. The men are not shy with him, and Jim is a noticing lad.
Hawkins, I put prodigious faith in you.
In the meantime, there were only 7 out of 26 on whom we knew we could rely. And of these 7, I was a boy. So that the grown men on our side were 6 to their 19. Next morning, there was not a breath of air moving, nor a sound, but that of the surf, booming half a mile away along the beaches. The heat was sweltering, and the men grumbled fiercely over their work. Mutiny, it was plain, hung over us like a thundercloud. Around noon, Captain Smollett came up on deck.
Me lads, we have a hot day and we're all tired out of sorts. A quick turn ashore hurt nobody. So you come to take the digs, and as many as please may go ashore for the afternoon.
Lower away!
Hey, wait a bit, man. What's the hurry?
John Silver suspected a trick. He hopped around the deck on his one leg.
Overboard, put the thing down. Yeah.
Well, what's the hurry? Wait a bit, will you, men?
No, I didn't wake up in orders.
Soon the party was organized. 6 fellows were to stay on board, and 13, including Long John Silver, began to embark. Suddenly, I had a mad notion to go ashore too. In a jiffy, I had slipped over the side and curled up in the foresheets of the nearest boat. No one took notice of me. No sooner had we touched shore than I leaped out and plunged into the nearest thicket. Behind me, I could hear John Silver's voice.
Hey, Jim! Jim, me boy! Hey, Jim!
Long John Silver was quick at his work. 2 faithful members of the crew were murdered on the island that afternoon. Only an hour after we landed, the first one I heard. The second killing I saw with my own eyes, from where I lay hidden among the trees.
Well, think hard, mate. Are you with us?
Sure as God sees me, I'd sooner lose my head than turn against me duty.
Mate, it's me or a bullet to the brains and guts.
Don't say that, you mate. Am I no more? If I die like a dog, I'll die in me duty. You've killed Alan, have you? Kill me too if you can, but I despise you.
He started to walk away.
Then try this.
Long John whipped a knife from his belt and sent it hurtling through the air. It struck him in the back and killed him. I didn't wait. I ran, as I never ran before. A mad laugh followed me.
Darby McGraw.
I looked up the side of the hill.
Woo!
Far above me, I saw something leap behind the trunk of a tree. It seemed dark and shaggy. I turned and began to run again. Suddenly, the thing appeared in front of me, and running forward, threw itself on its knees before me, and held out its begging hands.
Who are you?
I'm poor Ben Gunn. I am. I haven't spoken with Christian these 3 years marooned. 3 years marooned and lived on goats since then, and berries. You might happen to have a piece of cheese about you now. Now, many's the night I've dreamed of cheese, toasted mostly. What do you call yourself, mate?
Jim.
Jim. Well now, Jim, you wouldn't think I was rich till you look at me, would you?
Why no, not in particular.
Ah, well, but I am, Jim. I'm rich, and you'll bless your stars. You will. You was the first that found me.
Suddenly, his eye fell on the Hispaniola anchored offshore. Between it and the land was the jolly boat, with 5 men moving toward shore, but I could not tell if they were our men or the mutineers.
Jim, tell me true. That ain't Flint's ship.
It's not Flint's ship, and Flint's dead. There are some of Flint's hands aboard there, but luck for us.
Not a man with one leg.
Long John Silver?
If you were sent by Long John, ooh, I'm assing as good as pork. I know it. I was in Flint's ship with Long John Silver when old Flint buried the treasure. He and 6 along. 6 strong seamen. They were sure nigh on a week, and they one day here come by Flint, by himself in a little boat, and the 6 all dead, dead and buried, along with treasure. How he done it, not a man of us could make out.
I told him the purpose of our voyage, and the predicament in which we now found ourselves.
Oh, that Long John, he's a bad 'un. Well, you just put your trust in Ben Gunn. Ben Gunn's the man to help you. You tell that to your Squire Trelawney, Jim. Whoa, look at that.
Far off, we saw a Union Jack fluttering in the air above the woods.
There's your friend, sure enough. Long John Silver. Fly the Jolly Rancher. That's where your friend, sure enough, ashore in the old stockade, made years and years ago by Flint. Woo! What's that?
That's the ship's canyon. They're shooting at the stockade. Come on.
Wait a minute. Jim, wait! Rum wouldn't bring me down there. But remember, Jim, when Ben Gunn is wanted, you knows where to find him.
Aye, aye, Mr. Gunn.
I started to run towards the flag.
Hey, Jim! Jim!
Yes, sir?
You won't forget that piece of cheese, will you, mate?
No, sir.
It was less than a mile to the stockade. It was heavy running through the woods. The shooting was getting louder. Suddenly, before me, I saw a clearing, and the smoke of muskets fired nearby.
Hey there!
Who goes there?
Hey, don't shoot. It's mine.
It's Jim. It's Jimmy's by his side.
Moments later, I was over the stockade among my friends, and soon afterwards the firing ceased. The mutineers were saving their powder. The stockade was a good place, with a wall 6 feet high all around it. We could have held it against a regiment, and here Captain Smollett decided to stay and await our enemy's next move. I told Dr. Livesey and Squire Trelawney about Ben Gunn.
Hey! Flag o' truce! Flag o' truce!
Who's that?
It's Long John Silver. Stop or we fire.
Please, flag of truce.
We need lookouts. Dr. Lesley, take north side if you please.
Yes, sir.
Jim the east, Gray west, lively men, and careful. What do you want from with our flag truce?
Captain Long John Silver said, come to make terms.
Captain Long John Silver? Why, you black-hearted scoundrel.
Silence. If you wish to talk to me, you can come, and that's all. If there is any treachery, it will be on your side and Lloyd LPL.
Now that's enough, Captain. A word from you's enough. I know, gentlemen.
Stop there.
Hey, you ain't gonna let me inside, Captain? It's a cold morning to be sure, sir, to sit out on the sand. Oh, there's young Jim. Top of the morning to you, Jim. Why, there, you're all together, like a happy little family, in a manner of speaking.
If you've anything to say, my man, better say it.
Well, here it is. We want that treasure, and we'll have it. That's our point, Captain Smollett. You have a chart, I believe.
That's as may be.
Ah, well, you have. I know that. What I mean is, we want that chart. You give us the chart, and I'll give you my word of honor to clap you somewhere safe ashore.
Is that all you have to say?
Every last word, by thunder. Refuse that, and all you'll have next is musket balls.
Very good. Now you'll hear me. If you'll come up by one unarmed, I'll engage to clap y'all in irons to take y'all home to a fair trial in England. You can't find the treasure. You can't sail the ship, and you can't fight us. I stand there in your cell, and it's the last good word you hear from me.
Ha! Laugh, by thunder. Ha! Before an hour's out, you'll laugh on the other side. Them that die'll be the lucky ones.
10 minutes later, nothing remained of the mutineers but the 5 who had fallen. The attacking party did not come back that night. The next day was stifling hot. After dinner, Dr. Livesey sent for me.
Here, Jim, lad, was it cheese you said Ben had a fancy for?
Yes, sir. Chase.
Well, Jim, you've seen my snuff box, haven't you? And you never saw me take snuff. The reason being that in my snuff box I carry a piece of Parmesan cheese. Well, that's for Ben Gunn. Will you see that he gets it? Well, good then, and goodbye, lad.
Then he took up his hat and pistols, girt on his cutlass, and put the chart in his pocket, and set off briskly through the trees. That afternoon, a new idea came to me. This was to swim out under cover of the night, cut the Hispaniola adrift, and let her go ashore where she fancied. The mutineers, after their repulse of the morning, had nothing nearer their hearts than to up anchor and away to sea. This, I thought, would be a fine thing to prevent. It was evening when I reached the east coast of the island. I could see the Hispaniola lying at anchor offshore, and there was the Jolly Roger, the black fat flag of piracy, flying from her peak. As the last rays of daylight dwindled and disappeared, absolute darkness settled down on Treasure Island. The next day, I was back on land and was proud of myself. I had grounded the Hispaniola, beached her up tidily in the North Inlet, with no harm done, safe from the mutineers. I had no trouble finding the stockade, coming in from the shore, keeping close in shadow where the darkness was thickest. I crept into the blockhouse. I could see nothing. In the dark, I felt for a place to lie down.
Pieces of eight, pieces of eight, pieces of eight.
Who goes? Who goes? Bring a torch, Dirk. Well, shiver me timbers. Young Jim Hawkins dropped in like, eh? Quite a pleasant surprise for poor old John. Always wanted you to join my cap and take your share and die a gentleman. And now, my cock, here ye be.
Where are my friends?
Now, what do you think, my son?
Have you killed them?
Well, what do you think?
Well, I am not such a fool, but I know pretty well what I have to expect. But there's a thing or two I'll have to tell you, and the first is this. Here you are, in a bad way. Ship lost, treasure lost, men lost, and if you want to know who did it, it was I. I was in the apple barrel that night we saw the land, and I heard you, John, and you, Dirk Johnson, and Hans, who's now at the bottom of the sea, and told every word you said before the hour was out. And as a schooner, it was I who cut the cable, and it was I who brought her where you'll never see her more. Not one of you. I no longer fear you more than I fear a fly. I'll put one to that, and here goes, ear sneaking son of a sh.
Avast there!
Kill him! Kill him! Come on!
Do with me! Did any of you gentlemen want to have it out with me? By thunder, you'll obey! I like that boy now. What I say is this. Let me see him. That'll lay a hand on me on the lad. That's what I say, and you'll answer to my saber. Well, you're all fucked for action. So here, I was waiting to show you this. And what does it look like, lads? A chart. That's what it is, a chart. A chart of this island. Old Flint's chart. Now, what are your say to that?
Yes.
That was the end of the night's business. Only much later, I woke up suddenly and felt someone beside me.
Young Jim, it's me, boy.
Yes, Long John Silver?
I saved your life tonight, Jim. Now you and me stick close, Jim. Talking no trouble, Jim. Why did those friends of yours leave that chart behind when they cleared out of here? I came in this morning and I found the place empty and the chart lying there on the table where I couldn't miss it. There's something strange here. Don't know if it'd be good or bad.
The next morning, we set out after the treasure.
Tall tree, spyglass shoulder, bearing a point to the north-east, Skeleton Island, east-southeast, and by east, 10 east.
Hey, over here! Come quick!
At the foot of a pine, half covered with green creeper, a human skeleton laid on the ground.
A skeleton, God.
We're getting close, mates. It's a pointer. This is one of Flint's jokes. And no mistake, alone he killed him, every man. And this one he hauled up here and laid down as a compass. Yes? Listen!
15 men on a dead man's chest.
Do you hear what I hear?
Yo, ho, ho.
That's been supposed to be God all the way.
Darby McGraw.
Oh, Lord.
Darby McGraw. Fetch at the rum.
That was Fluency. That was Fluent's last word.
Darby McGraw.
Or Fluent's last word.
Oh, Lord.
Shipmate. There's 750,000 pounds, not a quarter of a mile from here. Since when did men of steel get afeard of little noise?
But hey there, John, don't you cross the spirit?
Spirit? Well, maybe. You know whose voice that was. It was like somebody else's. It was like ha ha. By the powers, it was Ben Gunn. Aye!
So Ben Gunn. Why nobody minds Ben Gunn, dead or alive. Nobody minds him.
Aye! Spyglass shoulder bearing a point to the northeast. Skeleton Island, southeast. And by east, 10 feet.
Hey mates, here's a tall tree.
Hey!
Before us was a great ditch. In this was the shaft of a pick, broken in two, and the boards of several packing cases strewn around, all branded with the name Walrus, the name of Flint's ship. The treasure had been found and taken. The 700,000 pounds were gone.
We've been jiggered. No gold, nothing?
There never was such of an overturn in this world. For each of these pirates it was as though he had been struck. But with Long John Silver the blow passed almost instantly, and he kept his head, found his temper, and changed his plan before the others had time to realize the disappointment.
Jim, take this pistol and stand by for any trouble.
Fistful of sand. That's 700,000 pounds of it. You would have had a lover. Long John Silver, dig away, boys. You'll find some oysters and shouldn't wonder. Oysters, mate. Oysters, mate. I'll tell you now. That man there knew it all along. Look in the face of him and you'll see it right there.
I'm Mary. Playing at being the captain again? You're a pushing lad, to be sure.
Mate, there's two of them alone there. One's a little cripple that brought herself here and blundered us down to us. The other's that boy that a meat down to heart. Now, mates.
Mary was raising her arm and her voice, and plainly meant to lead a charge. But then, before you could wink, Long John fired 2 barrels of a pistol into the angry woman. Mary tumbled head foremost into the sand. Long John Silver stood over her, his pistol still smoking.
Well, marry me, lad. I reckon I sold you.
At the same moment, shouts were heard above our heads. It was Ben Gunn, Dr. Livesey, and the Squire Trelawney. The doctor's plan had worked. The pirates had fallen into a trap.
Forward, lads.
As quickly as it started, the battle was over. Long John Silver dropped his pistols and raised his hands into the air.
Right kindly of you to stop by, Doctor. You came in about the nick, I guess, for me and Hawkins. Ha! And so it's you, Ben Gunn. Well, you're a nice one to be sure. I'm Ben Gunn. Gunn, I am. And how do Mr. Long John Silver? I'm guessing you be wondered where I hid all away your treasure. Ben, Ben, Ben. To think it was you who'd have done me in.
John Silver, you're a prodigious villain and impostor, sir. Your crimes, sir, hang about your head like millstones. Well, you saved this boy's life, and I'll mention that at your trial.
Thank you kindly, sir.
It took us 3 days to move the Hispaniola, the treasure from Ben Gunn's cave to the ship. On the 8th day of December, the Hispaniola reached Bristol. 5 men only of those who had sailed returned with her. Well, that was 19 years ago. All of us had an ample share of the treasure and used it wisely or foolishly, according to our natures. Captain Smollett is now retired from the sea. As for Ben Gunn, he lived a hearty life eating nothing but cheese. Long John Silver vanished on the voyage one night off the coast of Mexico, and we heard no more of him. Sometimes I dream of Treasure Island. The worst dreams that I ever have are when I hear the surf booming about its coast, or start upright in bed with the sharp voice of Captain Flint still.
Ah! Faces away! Faces away! Faces away!
You have just heard Red Room Radio Redux's adaptation of Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson.